So welcome to the weekly Namaste. Happy 222. The portal has opened. Thanks for joining me. I
Thanks
love
for having me.
I love this opportunity where we can drop in and instead of just our regular heart-to-heart conversations on the couch, we can share them in a good way with hopefully other people that are either on the network or find this out in the world and it helps them in some way. So thank you for being here and thank you for allowing me to practice this space holding place of sharing in this way. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you as well. I think it's a beautiful intention to have that. And we do have lots of deep conversations on the couch, and it's nice to be able to have it. And, we're not sitting to my left from my right, but in front of me. No, but to be able to share it with others too, if there's a good reflection in some of the different things that we come across and we talk about that I think are relevant and, to just how we live our lives. And yeah.
Yeah.
And your beauty and reflection of that. And so, yeah, thanks for this intention, this 222 portal on a Monday. It makes Mondays a little bit more fun.
Yay! I'm glad. I'm glad. I enjoy it too. The internet's being a little bit spotty. I want to check and see. All right, so I'm set up on the right one, but hopefully you're just on a high vibe, babe. That's all it is.
You're coming in clear, and you haven't stuttered once for me. So,
Okay, that's good. Good. I'm gonna jump over here for 1 second and turn this off because it's a little loud in the background. Usually I have all those things powered down, but I forgot this time, and I'm like, it's so distracting to me.
yeah, I didn't
So
even notice it was on, but now that you turned it off, it, sounds much quieter, more peaceful and serene.
a little more peaceful, unserene. That's the vibe. That's what we're going for. Today it's actually kind of fun astrology because we have a void moon. We had the new moon on Sunday. It happened overnight in the middle of the night. And we have space. We actually have the space while it's transiting before it moves into Capricorn. So about like 4 p.m., it's going to move into Capricorn. And before that, we're just out in like Neverland. And today, it just doesn't feel like the day that you're like mastering the to-do list on a Monday, but it's more like expansive spaciousness, a little bit of Venusian energy of like, I'm going to do what feels good, what feels pleasurable, which is what Sagittarius is all about too. So I think that there's just kind of like a little playful space that we get to meet into, which is kind of fun.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yes, I feel it.
I feel it too. So I've got my little outline here. Thank you, ChatGPT has been keeping me on track, helping me create structure and outline. So that's a Capricorn moon, a little coming in a little bit. But what I wanted to do is give us like a little outline of what our call is going to be about today. So, as you know, I like to share a little bit about the energetics and kind of drop us into the now. So we can sort of like feel into the gene keys in a way that's more conversational and trying to understand and unpack all of them and just do like one a week. So, the one that we're in this week is Gene Key 9. It's the shadow of inertia, it's the gift of determination, and it's the city of invincibility. And, this inertia, I think, is kind of like a playful play on words right now where we actually have the void moon. So, kind of learning how to appreciate the stillness or appreciate the uncertainty is like kind of the place in the cosmos where we are. Where, like, you just sort of get into the imagination and you're like, well, what do we want to dream things to be? How do we want to manifest? And, Sagittarius is, I think, the biggest dreamer, one of the biggest dreamers of the zodiac. It's the one that you see referenced as the archer with the bow and arrow, and it's shooting, it's aiming for the moon, and it's right next to Capricorn. And what I think is so fun about it is Sagittarius often has that like mythic journey that it goes on, where it just wants to answer the big questions, but it's not really worried about the day-to-day tasks. It just sees the mythic journey. It just makes the vision board. It just has the expansive ideas. And then Capricorn, that it moves into, is the one that's like, okay, we're going to have a little Saturn influence now and like take this idea and rein it in so that it actually can get off the ground and it can actually do something. So, like, in the void of that is sort of like in that imagined space where we're still like aiming for the moon and we're still dreaming the big thing. And right now, in this moment, we don't have to rush off and do anything. We don't have to get our feet in the dirt. We don't have to sign the checks over. Like right now, we're actually in the juicy spot of just crystallizing the vision and just like really sensing what it would feel like, what it would taste like, what it would be like. So it's kind of a fun sort of place to be in. So, I'm looking at my notes here. So I wanted to drop us into a little prayer and a little meditation to just attune us with some of these energies. This is the shadow of inertia. This is the gift of determination. And this is the city of invincibility. And so I invite you to soften your gaze or close down your eyes if it feels in alignment for you. And we're just going to do a little prayer and meditation for Gene Key 9. This is the theme from inertia to invincibility. So here we go, just becoming aware of our breath now, taking a deep, full breath in, feeling ourselves supported by the earth below us, the chair that we're resting on. Know that it has our back. Know that right now in this moment, there's nowhere else we have to be and there's nothing else we have to do, but we get to be in the pause. We get to be in the playful place of imagining. Divine source of all life and infinite potential, we come together today as a circle of light, opening our hearts to your grace and guidance. In the presence of Gene Key 9, we humbly acknowledge the shadow of inertia that weighs upon our spirits. Yet we also honor the gift of determination within us, calling forth the courage to step into focused action. May we rise beyond resistance and distractions, aligning with the invincible flow of creation, where every small step becomes a sacred act, and every moment is a gateway to our highest truth. Bless this gathering today with clarity, with purpose, and connection as we awaken to our divine potential and unity with all that is. And so it is. Amen and Aho. And as we stay here in this quiet place, we'll invite in a guided visual exercise for just a few more moments, grounding into this space, becoming aware of our breath again, taking deep and full breaths, feeling your body supported by the earth beneath you. And as you exhale, imagine now releasing all tension and just feeling yourself anchored in the present moment. I invite you now to visualize a golden light at the base of your spine. This light represents the dormant energy within you, awaiting to awaken. As you breathe deeply, I invite you to see this light begin to spiral upward, filling your body with warmth, unconditional love, and vitality. Let's just breathe now, visualizing this golden light. I invite you now to imagine any areas in your life where you may feel that inertia has taken hold. Any places inside where you feel stuck or hesitant. I invite you to see these areas as dark, heavy clouds within your being. You may feel a stuckness in your body, a soreness, a tension, a stress, and inflammation. And here we're going to visualize all of these golden lights appearing, expanding, and dissolving every single cloud, dark spot, or feeling of tension that you had identified. And imagine each and every one of them dissolving. And as you feel this golden light expanding, enveloping your body now, I invite you to visualize yourself taking one small, purposeful step forward and feeling the momentum begin to build from within you. Allowing this light now that's enveloped your being to radiate outward, dissolving all the clouds around you with gentle persistence. And now visualizing yourself taking one small, purposeful step forward. This light radiating out of you beyond your physical form and connecting with the universal flow. You are invincible, one with the rhythm of creation, steady and unshakable. Let's rest now in this state of divine alignment for a moment. Just feeling that light all around you, radiating from within you, charging you up, feeling the power, the glow, the warmth with each inhale, feeling it expanding. With each exhale, just feeling more of those dark clouds dissipating, being absorbed fully by the glow, by the white light. Now here, just taking a final deep breath, filling your heart with gratitude. Gratitude for this moment, recognizing you can return to this state at any time. This is your power that always lies within you. We simply carve out the pauses to become aware of it, to visualize ourselves as one with it without any separation. And just slowly returning your awareness to the present moment, knowing that you are ready to embark on your highest potential. Maybe taking one more breath, adding some movement to your fingers and toes, and then returning to this space. Welcome back. So Gene Key 9. This is the shadow of inertia. This is the gift of determination. And this is the city of invincibility. This is actually my pearl. So this one's in my chart. And it says in the repressive nature is reluctant. There is an inner reluctance to the repressed side of this ninth shadow. It manifests as our seeming inability to do anything about our situation, despite the fact that we understand it and even see our way out. The reluctance to move out of one's patterns is not a conscious choice, but an inner dynamic where all of one's life force remains frozen. This reluctance is essentially a paralysis of our will brought about by following familiar, repetitive patterns that do not serve us. To break out of our inner reluctance is to leave our safety zone and move directly into our fears. It can be frustrating to onlookers that these people are unable to break their patterns, but it's just as frustrating for those in the grip of such deep-seated fear. Ultimately, it comes down to the power of the human will to either break through or fall into a continual and miserable decline. The reluctant nature is always going to look at the more introverted reflection of how we turn inward on ourselves. The reactive is more the expressive outward reflection. And this one for this gene is diverted, which would say the reactive nature of this ninth shadow involves a totally different kind of inertia. These people can be highly restless and fidgety, as though nothing inside them can sit still. Their tactic is diversion, and they unconsciously seek any stimulus to draw some of their energy and fury out of their body. Naturally, such people cannot sustain their escapist pattern indefinitely, and it takes an enormous toll on their health and often their finances. These people cannot find a fixed pattern in life at all. If they were to do so, all their rage would explode out of them. This makes it impossible for them to maintain serious commitments for any length of time. Although their lives are not inert in the strict sense of the word, they are inert in terms of fulfillment because they can simply never rest or relax. So the gift of this gene key, the gift of determination, is actually the power of habitual change over small steps. And it's the one daily habit that we make, or the one time of the month, or the commitment that we make to honor our commitments, but in a way that's like, okay, Sagittarius has the big, huge vision, and then these gift of determination, that invincibility is like, I want to see all this, successful house and career and the 2.5 kids and the perfect car and like whatever the metric is, but like this invincibility, like this is my greatest dream. And then the gift of determination is how can you just take the steps to get there? The inertia is when we just feel too stuck. It's like it's just too monumental because you have to break out of the rhythm. And the dilemma of this one is our comfort zone. So we get into a comfort zone and it's like creating the new neural pathway or the new groove before it feels comfortable to be walking in a direction that's more aligned for us. So the invincibility is what happens after a long period of time when you realize, oh shit, that thing that seemed so monumental, I've gone and done it. And now I lived through it to talk about it. And so this becomes the highest expression of the gene of the person that goes on to share the success story of how I overcame that thing. So this is, kind of fun to dream and to think about. before we go into Capricorn season next month, and even this Capricorn moon tonight, before it becomes all the commitment around it, just looking at the big vision goal, and like anything that you can imagine can come true. So, how can you align yourself with that target, which is all about how we are in the embodiment of our joy, of our satiation, of our joy of being. So, how can we stay in that place each and every day where we're so excited to get out of bed and work on our projects, do the work that we're doing in the world? Because whatever it is actually filling up our cup. That's invincible because our time is play. When you can create work that is play, that's so powerful. And so I feel like we got a beautiful example of that yesterday, of seeing the playfulness that there can be around spirituality, around ceremony, of just having a song and dance circle and gathering here, and what a blessing that is. But also there can be a lot that comes with that too, a lot of responsibility that comes with that too. So I know I've obviously gone through a lot here, but I'd love to just open up the conversation to share about anything that's coming up to come out. These calls we do record so that we can share them with others, and hopefully they can be, have a resonance, because we do bring in the current energetics of what we're all collectively perceiving through astrology and through the gene keys. So I just invite you to speak from your I am whenever possible, so we can share from our personal experiences and remain confidential, that just acknowledging that we share our personal stories here sometimes. So, so whatever is coming up to come out, I'd love to give you the opportunity to share.
Nice. Thank you for that prayer and meditation and the introduction of the gene keys and all of that. Yeah, a lot to soak in. So I just was enjoying listening to you go through all that. But the meditation it was nice. It let me drop in. You kind of prefaced with what the gene keys was, so I like wrote it down real quick because I don't have your Chat GPT notes. See, so I'm operating off of this little old school system that I got going on here. But I'm keeping up with you, determination, inertia, invincibility. And, some as you were, it was a little bit hard for me to drop in because I was like so engaged with that, was so activating for me. So I actually needed the meditation, which is really important too. So, but yeah, some of these different words to me, just jump out at the page as part of my spiritual curriculum, my mission here with a lot of these different things. So, inertia, I always thought of inertia, like as momentum, like it's gained inertia. So it's moving, it has a charged energy about it. Determination for me felt more like I'm having to trudge through. There's this determined in the mud and my feet are stuck and we're determined to get through it. So those were just in a wordplay kind of switch for me, but I totally get that moving through the to the invincibility once you've had the determination to get through that, maybe the stuck inertia that that is kind of where it's at, and to create your own momentum. Because inertia really is an object in motion stays in motion, an object at rest stays at rest. So if it's at rest, it requires us to inject our own determination, our own energy input through willpower to create new neural pathways over long periods of time. And so what that is, how long that is, I guess it's different for everybody. Like you said, whether it's once a month you do something, once a day. So creating those new neural pathways, I think, is really something to be aware of, and so during this time, I think it's a perfect time to kind of visualize, those creations and how we want to manifest them and make them into the reality that they are, so that as soon as we hit Capricorn season, we're ready to hit the pavement and get going. I have a lot of Capricorn in me, so I am charged up right now. I feel like we're just coming out of holiday, where it was a gluttonous holiday of stagnancy and, celebration of that and gratitude for this abundance that we have in this life. And so now we're stepping into, okay, what are we going to do with that energy? We just consumed all this energy. All right, what's the next step? Now, where are you going with it? Are you going to hibernate? You're just going to wait this out, till spring? Or are you going to put this energy into motion? And I kind of feel that energy putting into motion today, feeling charged up, excited to get the things done that I need to do as well. So, but proper planning prevents poor performance. So I definitely think this is the time for Sagittarius to take a front row and maybe with Chat GBT and Sagittarius energy, I feel like they kind of go well together for planning things out for me. So I love that you created your own outline. I was like kind of inspired, but I was like, man, why am I not doing these things? You're ahead of the game on me. So I love that. I love that you're creating an intention with that, with your determination to get through your inertia, and it's inspiring. And yeah, it makes me want to get up and go. I got to go do something. No. Um, but yeah, so I'm motivated and I love it. I'm excited to use this energy. Thanks for directing my arrow so I can know where to, shoot it to. Again,
You
it's a
know
moving
that
target, so it's a problem sometimes. Yeah.
That's what we all have to figure out. And I think that really is the conversation of the week. We're going to have Mars go into retrograde this later in the week where you talk about what do we do with all this energy? Mars is a lot of energy that's going to feel like it's going backwards. That might feel like we already have Mercury retrogrades. We have like a lot of these like major shifts that are happening with a lot of energy. And so when that energy has nowhere to go, it can be in us like rage, like depression, like heavy, dense, just density. It weighs us down. You're like, your shoulders are sinking. You're only looking down. Like it's tension in the body. Like truly it does weigh on us so much. And so this having a direction and like actually saying, here's what I'm going to take all the energy into. It's the willpower, like truly to say like, okay, ugh, it's going to go into this. I'm writing the book, I'm making the tarot deck or whatever the thing is, but like it's all going to go into this. And then that does become the right use of energy. And I love that that's how you feel about inertia. And I love hearing that perspective around inertia because having this one in my gene key chart, it's always felt like I am with depression because it feels so heavy. This one just feels like it weighs me down sometimes, like I have one of those weighted blankets on. Sometimes I just feel like, oh, whose story is this? Why is it so heavy? And the heaviness feels like I don't have the power to go. But I love the way that you sort of reframe that it's potential power. It's like before it has the momentum, it's the potential, I guess. But I've always felt like it's just the stuckness. But you're someone that has taught me a lot in terms of looking at work as play and choosing how you operate in little bursts. And like, I'm going to do concentrated effort for 90 minutes, and then I'm going to take a break and do something else entirely, and that is such different way of how my brain is. My brain's like 9 hours, we're in. like we won't come out for air. We'll be so in it. And then like that's unsustainable because it's so submersive. But I feel like that's what that inertia, that stuckness can also be, that Scorpio aspect of me that has to go down all the way down the rabbit hole to learn something. And I think that's another aspect of Sagittarius too, is gonna learn all the things during Sagittarius season because it's like hunger is insatiable for learning. And that just kind of comes with this time of year. A lot of us are just, whether it's rituals for the holidays that we are teaching traditions to our children that were taught to us, or we're making our own, or it's something entirely different. But I think there's just a lot of learning and curriculum and philosophy that comes around this time of year too.
Hmm. Oh,
Yeah. So I wanted to share something else, which was going to be a little walkthrough. I was going to do a share screen and share a little walkthrough of the way of Namaste and see if I can do this right. To give people that are new, that haven't been on the website, a little idea of how it works and what's there and how they can use it. The way that I've sort of set it up is that it contains a lot of things. And that's just how my brain works. It contains a lot of things. And so I've been trying to focus my energy on where to put things. And then, I have like in the way of Wellbriety, I share like a daily post in there, which a lot of times will have an invitation. Oh, check out this page on this way, check out this link on this thing. So I kind of share where you can kind of go, but I want to do more of a share screen for people that have never joined a Mighty Network before, people that are still using the website. So if this works, hopefully it does, I'll be able to share here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So we are on the way of Namaste. So from the left, we're going to see a feed, a discovery, events, and members. We're also going to see the ways of Namaste. So anytime that we're ever referring to a virtual event, it's always going to be under the events tab here. And under these ways of Namaste, there's different offerings that I put in there throughout the week. So here we are on a Monday. I consider Monday to be moon days, the days that we look at astrology. So every Monday in the way of astrology, I put, oh, it might not, okay. I put a link for the latest Chani astrology forecast. So this is an opportunity to look at the week ahead using the astrology from one of my favorite astrologers, Chani. So this is an opportunity that you can check and see what's going to be happening that week every Monday, every moon day. You can see, okay, this is what's happening in the cosmos. We also have a resource library. So if ever, Chani was talking about, oh, Mars is going retrograde and I want to see what that means for my chart. Under the way of astrology, you can start looking. Oh, okay, here's Mars. How and where to take action now. By going to here, we're going to see how Mars translates for different aspects of your chart. So you'll be able to actually learn over the course of the year in little micro doses. Oh, I have a Mars in Leo. Here's what that means, having bigger, grander goals. And you're like, oh, okay. So we start to have it make sense in little micro doses. So this is what's available on Mondays. The invitation for Mondays, Moon Days astrology. Of course, you can do this anytime. It's always available, but invitations. On Mondays is when I post the Chani link. On Tuesdays are ruled by Mars. This is planet of action, get up and go. Tuesdays when we might feel a little bit more of that energy and we want to direct the energy. So Tuesdays, planet of action, I love to invite us into yoga. So the way of yoga, we post links to Yoga with Adrienne, one of my favorite yogis. So every day she's got a yoga sequence. So I'll post the month and the month of offerings that she has. So anytime somebody wants to see a yoga sequence that aligns with the month and the month, you can check out the link on there. Anytime you want to share your own, you can do that as well. This is just an invitation for moving some of the energy. On Wednesdays, Miracles is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is planet of communication. So one offering on Wednesdays could potentially be the way of the oracle, getting a message, connecting with a message. So you might scroll through and see an oracle message that's on there. I post these things throughout the week, randomly when I feel a calling to share. So a lot of times it's it's a ritual for a moon holiday. And then you can, just play around in there and see. You can always share your own. Now Thursday, this is ruled by Jupiter. This is planet of expansion. Jupiter makes everything bigger. So this is another opportunity to play around on the website to feel where you're called, where you're pulled to. One of the places you may be pulled to is the way of the gene keys. Every 6 days, the gene key has a new energy that we're moving through. So as we said, right now we're in gene key 9, the divine expression of invincibility. So if you're in the way of the gene keys, you can go up to here to the resource library. You can learn more about what's going on for gene key 9. So let's do that right now and we'll see what's on there. So anytime you're like, you know what, I've got 20 minutes, I want to watch the sunrise, I want to do a prayer, and I want to tune in with what's going on. Well, you can pull up the gene keys. I have a YouTube that has the audio recording of the chapter. I have the Wisdom Keeper story with questions for contemplation. I have the mudra. I have the human design card. I have the message from the Tao. I have, which was also from the Wisdom Keeper story, the oracle message, along with questions for contemplation. So you could go in there, you could do some journaling, some reflecting. I also have some tools from the gene keys. So you can see, gene key 9, the power of the infinitesimal. This is programming partner mastery, versatility, indifference. I see how invincibility could be with mastery. I see how determination could be with versatility. You kind of start to see a pattern. Okay, when I have a mastery of my time, I'm invincible. When I am determined to get through all of my tasks, I've mastered the gift of versatility. You start to see how these things play with each other. So this is the sign of Sagittarius. So as we're moving through this gene key, this is in the spirit of this mutable fire. Pulling from the I Ching, invincibility, what is that? It's our inner space. It's understanding how we operate in the universe. To understand this final frontier is to see our place among the cosmos, which is why the way of Namaste has so many tools to learn how to see your place among the cosmos with astrology. So you've got these other just resources in here that just provide tools for contemplation. Trust in the power of the invisible, for the butterfly's wings create a typhoon. You know, that just like opens us up to thinking about something. Okay, wow. So when I actually direct my energy, I see this spiral here. It's the Kundalini awakening, this energy now, like the golden light that was at the root of our spine that coils upwards. So it's our energy moving. It turns into a typhoon. Now is this powerful energy that's circulating that can get put into so many creations. So this is all about the taming power of the small brings about progress and success. We see dense clouds, but no rain cloud coming from our western borders. This comes from the I Ching. So we see all this data that we can just play with throughout the course of the week, coming through to just see it in our own time. But there's just, I like to just give invitations for how you can move through the week. On Fridays, we have the Artist Way. So this is an event that started with our book club and has matured into just having artist dates, times that will align energetically, and then we might have a journal prompt and have the opportunity to reflect and share on anything that came out if we want to, but we'll open it up and then we'll go do our private creativity and then we'll come back at the end. So it's just accountability for creativity. Saturday is Saturn's day, and this might be a day of structure, of responsibility, of just getting shit done. And this is where I invite you into the way of well-briety. And of course, these things could be at any other time, but bringing in that Saturn influence of accountability, of responsibility, and making a commitment. If you go to the resource library under the way of well-briety, you'll see different rituals for the different moons that we have going on, but also the way of well-briety. So you can start to follow along with the steps. So far, we've had step 1. So you can see, are you a little bit fucked? So this is the step. And these were the questions for contemplation. So at any point during this month, you've had the invitation to journal on some of these things, to see these steps and how it's laid out in the way of well-briety. So how it's laid, these just are options for each day. Sunday, I'm always gonna have in the way of astrology, I'll share daily astro inspo posts, but Sundays is day of rest, digital detox, so maybe you come and play and you do a yoga practice, sun salutations, maybe you catch up on some messages or scroll through and share some comments or share your own things. Every single thing in there is just an offering that I have that's coming from my devotional practice. My prayer is that I can fall by the backside soon and everybody else gets to add their prayers, their rituals, how they're operating through this, what they're learning from the gene keys, what they're learning from the oracles or whatever they're playing with. So the invitation is to share, especially the way of beauty. This is a beautiful place to just share about the beauty in your life. You can share a picture. I love my friend Jen just shared a vision board with us of what she's calling in for the Sagittarius moon. So we get to see it. We get to have this excitement for her. Look at those bank accounts. I am here for these bank accounts that she has. And it's just so exciting to be able to celebrate with others. So I know there's a lot on here, but I wanted just to give a little run through of what's there and sort of how you can navigate by just scrolling to each of the ways and just using your intuition to guide you as well and seeing where it takes you and knowing that at all moments this is an opportunity for you to share, for you to be accountable. If morning pages is hard for you to do, maybe it's easy for you to post it for somebody else, to share a picture. There are lots of people that use social media for blogging, so this is another creative outlet to bring that momentum and that utilize that energy of creation in something that can direct you potentially towards a purpose or help somebody else along the way. Because as we know from sharing circles, so many times when we share from our heart and our experience, other people are like, oh, that's just what I needed to hear. Gosh, that really lands. I'm so glad we could talk about this. So lastly, I've closed it down now, but the one of the other ways in there was the way of play, and it's our marketplace. And this gives us an opportunity to share about the things that we are creating, the services, the goods, the offerings, and it's a place to put it. It's one of many places to put it. But what I would love to do with it being Cyber Monday is to give you the opportunity to share about what you've got going on for this time of year. And then, and then anything else that's coming up to come out. I know, again, it was a lot. I know you've been on the website, but I know even you don't know all the things that are on there. So I wanted just to give you an opportunity to reflect on anything that's coming up, any questions that you have on navigating the site or anything else. And then I want to just talk about the cacao for a bit and share about what's going on with cacao, what's going on with the big visions that are coming through for you for Sagittarius season, what you're calling in. What's coming up for you?
Yeah, thanks for sharing the walkthrough. That was really cool. It worked perfectly. It was good to see. And the Mighty Network, it's a great platform that you've chosen to work the way of Namaste off of. And I like the way the organization is for it. As a Capricorn, I appreciate that. It keeps me organized and what line. And I think that one of the beauties of it is there's so much to offer that you have already put on there from yourself and the different things for different days. That it's kind of choose your own adventure. So yeah, I haven't seen maybe all of it, and sometimes there's always something new when I go on there. So I think that's really cool. And it's nice how the events are kind of really cleanly organized. So you can see what's coming up next and it's easy to join through Zoom. You can just jump on the chat. And I like how it's just free form like that, open to where it's whatever there's no obligation from anybody to do all the things or, they can just come on for the artist way or whatnot. And so I think it's really, really cool the way the system's kind of laid out like that. And as a platform for people to be able to share their own offerings. I mean, as this network is starting to gain more followers, I mean, last time. I know we were over 50 members here. I think it's gained more since then, so I haven't checked the numbers, but the intention is to gain a network of people that are able to support one another. And so that looks like through their different offerings and events and, not only just the people that are on here as members, but when they share it to the other people they know, it's like 7 degrees, of Kevin Bacon. You start to know everybody, by then. So I love the connectivity and the intention of having a group organized like this. So I just want to, express just my gratitude and how much work you've put into this and how awesome it looks and how well it works is a testament to, you putting your love into this. So yeah, thank you for that. And I've met some amazing people through this platform already, through what you've created, and people all over the world, and all the way to Australia and back, and even locally, people that I don't get to connect with as much. It's an awesome way just to see each other's face, or some people are just observers too. So I know that happens a lot, just want to peek in and dip out. And so I think it's really cool. Like I said, it's just like a safe way for community to connect. And so that is really the segue of my intention with the products that I've been creating, Uh, and these are just intentional products that I use in my daily life that I've seen a better way to do it for me, and this is an I am. So I look at the ways that I do things, and then I offer that towards the world. So, I've had a series of different businesses where I've tried to help ocean life and the planet through plastic cleanup awareness campaigns. And, this is now segueing into several years of working with cacao and looking at the way energy comes into our bodies and how we can maximize our potential. Really, my goal was to live my best life. And I started to say, okay, well, I'm going to live my best life. I need to look at the things I'm putting in my body that are giving me the energetic output. And because it's all a vibration, right? So each one of these substances is a vibration that we're consuming. And as we start to really understand what that means, most people awaken to changing their diet, and so my diet got shifted with that wisdom, that consciousness of that. So I started to look at, okay, well, what is something that I'm consuming every single day, that is contributing to my energy? What was coffee? And this isn't to like look negatively on, different plants. Coffee is a plant. So it's a plant medicine. In a lot of ways, coffee is a good thing, but not the way that I was using it or consuming it. And frankly, not the way that the United States and people in America, from my perspective, are consuming it with Starbucks, with Dunkin'. It's just an over caffeinated world. So caffeine carries for me kind of a masculine energy. So it's an intensity, it's we got to get things done, and which is good for certain periods of time. So if you're going to use it for that intention to get your work done, I feel like that kind of can create that momentum. But there's a law of diminishing returns, and that's kind of where I started to look at it. It was like, okay, I need this amount, I need to get this done, so I need this much caffeine to get it. So we start to get to a point where you over caffeinate, and then your body gets jittery. You can't fully stay focused on the task that you're doing because you're so amped up. Your ADHD gets activated, and then, there's a crash because really what was happening with the caffeine, it was a neural inhibitor to stop you from feeling tired. You still were getting tired. So anyway, I started to look at all these different things, and the way that we consume things in balance seems to be the key to unlock that. So, with that, I started looking at different mushrooms, and cacao and different ways to energize my body that were, very of the earth, very holistic. And rather than going to a pill bottle for Adderall or these different things that people are doing, really Mother Nature created it right here for us. And I hate to equate it to pharmaceutical type of situations like that, but that's the reality is, a lot of people are consuming pharmaceuticals. And so the comparability of lion's mane mushroom to Adderall is it's kind of not really fair because lion's mane is so much better. It's really creating new neural pathways and regenerating yourself without chemicals. So, you know, and not only that, there's so many other medicinal benefits for it. So this whole journey started to unlock one after another a domino effect. Oh, and this is good for this, and this is good for this. So come here now to 20 almost 2025, and we've gone through a series of testing, rigorous testing with different organic cacaos and organic coffees now and organic mushrooms to really fine tune what is the most optimal blend to consume on a daily basis for myself. There, you can kind of run yourself, you know, dry financially trying to buy every single supplement, and you got to put this into your smoothie and this into this. So I was really trying to create an optimal blend for my mind, my body, and my spirit. And so that's where we've come to, you know, and for everybody looks different. You know, cacao is a feminine energy. So if you're wanting to soften up and just cozy up around the fire and, you know, settle down, you know, but also with a good energy. It's, you know, feminine energy is strong. It's powerful too. But it's softer. And so that's why I feel like cacao is like a hug. You know, when you drink a cup of hot chocolate, you know, you get a different sensation than you do when you drink a cup of coffee, you know, of what you want to do with your life. You know, a cup of coffee, you don't want to sit down in front of a fire and just snuggle, you know, and get cozy and in your body. And so just energetically was taking a look at those things. And that's the new blend that we have, 1111. And so it's got 11, to me, 1111 always means synchronicity. And so I've seen that in my life, repetitions of 1111 to be on the right path, is what it feels like for me whenever I see it. Like, okay, what I'm doing is making sense. The universe is just a little clap from the universe, like, yep, keep going. So I love to see 1111. And so we use that energy to create that synchronicities here with a golden ratio blend of coffee, cacao, and then 11 different types of mushrooms. So, you know, we've got that all packed into one bag, one serving size, you know, like that. So you can consume it and not have to buy a bunch of other bags. So we do also offer just a pure, organic, raw, cold pressed cacao. And so that one, like I said, you know, is more of a feminine energy to it, a softening, which is really beautiful and powerful, especially with just the blend that we've got. It's a Peruvian blend, so it's really strong. And I love that it supports small groups, small farms in Peru. So that's how cacao is grown. You know, it's only on small farms like that. And so I think that's a really beautiful way to honor production, you know, of these different countries like that and support them. And, you know, to combine that all together with I could run you through all 11 mushrooms here, you know, but you can go through them. Most of it is lion's mane and, you know, chaga and cordyceps and reishi. And we've got some new ones in there. Rural Sun, which is a cool one. And just the names are cool. But the mushroom itself has such amazing properties that, you know, it really coincides. One of them is called tiger's milk. So we got lion's mane and tiger's milk. A buddy of mine was like, "What is this tiger's milk?" I was like, "Oh, just wait till you try it." It's a so, but you know, we've got all that lion, tigers, and there's no bears in this one, but we're still working on that. Maybe bear root for next one. A guy
Maybe
gave
some
me some
bear.
bear root
Maybe have
yesterday.
some lion,
So
tigers, and bears.
yeah, but so the tiger's milk is good for your respiratory health. You know, all these mushrooms are good for your immune system, so they're going to energize your body on a cellular level. You know, so yeah, it's going to taste delicious. That's like one of the keys to it. But above and beyond that, it's a medicinal drink for you that you can consume every single day and not feel bad about it because you're not putting yourself through this treadmill of caffeine. You know, it has half the caffeine as a cup of coffee, so it still has some caffeine in it. That's okay. It's how much you consume. You don't need to consume as much because it's got all these mushrooms in it that energize you. So that's kind of my intention, really, with all of this create a beautiful health and wellness beverage. But deeper is to create that awareness that people can have with their mind, body, and their spirit. And it's subtle, but
Hmm.
I feel like these are the types of products that could possibly lead to other changes in people's lives that are positive. And so,
I will definitely attest to that. I mean, I love the conversation that we're having about the small habitual changes that you make that add up over a long period of time, which is exactly what your gut health journey was. Going from coffee to learning about cacao to introducing this product from the wisdom that you learned about the moderation and about bringing it back in a way that, like, I know for somebody that was never a coffee drinker, I always felt into the expression that coffee was borrowing tomorrow's caffeine or borrowing tomorrow's energy. I was like, it doesn't feel sustainable, you know? And I had like a thing about coffee and I never liked the taste of coffee. And I can fully say I am regularly drinking this product because it tastes so good. And this was the beverage sustaining me creating this network was, you know, sipping on the cacao, working in these micro moments on these things. So it really, like, as a testament to like the long haul of it, like this does have the power to make change in people that starts from their gut health. And like, you know, we talked about, like, literally truly the right use of energy, the right use of energy in the right place and the right time. Like, I think it's just so serendipitous how it's like so divinely aligned.
that's it. It is about divine alignment. And yeah, it's great to hear that, we've turned I see, my intention isn't to turn you into a coffee drinker, but it's just to create a beverage that is, adding to your life in a good way. It doesn't need to be coffee versus not coffee. It's really just creating that balance, and I think that that's the story that a lot of people have gotten imbalance with. And I had a reflection from a sister yesterday that came here to a ceremony, and she had gotten to try this 1111, and it's a mushroom coffee, and she was like, "Oh no." At first she said that she hasn't drank coffee in 13 years because she had worked in the food service industry, and the smell of it even to her was like, ugh, nauseating because it reminded her of work, probably a Pavlovian thing there, and just that stale coffee smell, burnt, coffee. That's not at all what we're working with here. We meticulously went through different suppliers to find something that's 100% organic. It's a freeze-dried organic coffee. So it's from Colombia. For me, Colombian coffee is one of the best. It's very bold and strong. So we wanted that to come through so that the cacao didn't overpower the entirety of the beverage. And so that was, the effort here is to make something that's really balanced in a good way. And she said that, she enjoyed it. She drank it. She loves it. She came here. She wanted to buy a bag. So again, not trying to turn coffee drinkers into coffee drinkers, but it doesn't taste like mushrooms. It doesn't taste, strongly of like a coffee like that. It's different. It's kind of unique. It's a hybrid.
Mhm.
And so that's what's kind of fun about it is it's a sensory, not overload, but it feels really balanced. And that's what we're going for with this is to not have it heavy on the mushrooms where you just feel like you just put earth in your mouth, you just ate on you're chewing bark, right? No. So, and you don't want it to taste like you drank a Hershey chocolate bar in your mouth either, which cacao doesn't taste like Hershey's, by the way. I learned that was for me, I think I went to Costa Rica, it was 2011, and got to try cacao for the first time in 2012. And yeah, I was over on the Talamancan coast over there by Puerto Viejo, and I went to a Caribbean's cacao farm, and and drank this beverage. And I've had dark chocolate before too, but this is a completely different experience, really, because It's similar. It's going to get that bitter notes, but there's just a depth to it that I think that chocolate takes away. There's some really good chocolates out there. I love chocolate. Don't get me wrong, but Hershey's isn't doesn't do it for me anymore. So, but yeah, it's not like putting that in your mouth, and it's not like drinking just a cup of coffee. So that was, the goal here. And for the flavor palette. And then beyond that, like you were saying, it's, changing those micro moments in your daily life so that you have a place of intention. And this is like an automatic intention setting ceremony here.
Mhm.
The way it works, I feel like, when you sit with it, you're present with it. It makes you be here now because you're smelling it, you're tasting it, and then you're feeling it. So that's it. And to create good momentum in people's lives, that so that we can get the inertia to be in motion, so that the inertia isn't stagnancy, so that it's momentum. And then that becomes a part of your daily routine. It's your daily life. And I've seen changes, neurologically, benefits, just cognitive function, focus, and then at overall energetic level. I mean, when you are working with your gut health, this is a system, it's like your car, and if you are putting in shitty oil into your car,
Mhm.
well, your car is going to blow smoke and it's going to not go as fast as it needs to go and not be as fuel efficient, so this is, one of those ways of just cleansing out your system in a good way. And it takes a couple weeks, really, to where you can start to see some of the longer term neurological benefits, so there's an immediate benefit. You should feel that right away, but long term is really kind of what we're going for here. And so after you can create those patterns over a longer period of time, usually like 2 weeks is all it takes. You'll start to see digestive health benefits. You'll start to feel lighter energetically. Just that's how I felt, and so that's why I created this product. Started doing it with other ones to kind of fine tune it into this, and so I'm super excited about it. I drink it every single day. And even though I may be speaking quickly, I'm very calm inside and I feel because you can operate at a high capacity, but not feel jittery to a point where you're tripping over your words, your thoughts are going into different divergences. You can really stay focused,
Mhm.
talk about what you need to, stay on your own tasks. I do work in 90-minute intervals. For my body, that seems like the best option. I don't like to get too burnt out. Sometimes it's better, I felt, to take a step back from a problem that I'm working on. And usually a solution will come to me in the in-between phase like that. So, but with this, I feel really sustained and focused with all the different things that I get to do. And yeah, so I'm excited right now. It's on sale. Cyber Monday. I don't know how many people see this
Awesome.
on
So
Cyber
where can people
Monday
buy
that
it?
are watching this, but it's for sale. We've had a lot of sales, so hopefully we don't sell out before Christmas. I want this to be, something if people are looking for it to get it. So we should be fully stocked through Christmas, and that's our intention, is just to keep the ball rolling for people so it's available for them. One bag does have 99 servings. It's a teaspoon serving size recommendation. Um, if you're more experienced with medicinal mushrooms and other things like that, you may adjust your dose, but we're trying to create something that's a better pattern for people. I've had other people suggest, well, you should suggest to dose it more, put more in there, because people will consume it more, then they'll buy it more. But it's not about that for me. It's not about just like how many dollars can I make, how quickly can I produce it. There is a balance that I have to have with being an entrepreneur to say, hey, I'm not trying to create a product where we're pushing for people to overconsume. So creating a good balance was the intention of the 99 servings. Obviously, some people are used to drinking a little bit more caffeine and they can adjust their dose. But yeah, 1111 mushroom coffee. You can find it on Amazon. If you go to our website, ohmyes.com, ohmyes.com, you can buy it from our website directly. And so either way, it'll be the same beautiful product shipped to you, from me to you. And so, yeah, I'm excited to have feedback and see what everybody thinks about it, because this is my thoughts and these are the kind of, we work in the inner circles of people, but so far I've heard nothing but great things. So we're excited to continue the ball rolling. And
This is
Who
like
knows what's
receiving,
next?
I think it's the perfect gift for the holidays too, because it really is like receiving a big, warm, cosmic hug from the universe. So I love,
Yep, it fits in most stockings, and yeah,
yeah,
we've had some people buy it as presents, and I think that's a really. I'd love to receive a present like that. Uh,
honestly,
so
yeah. And
I'm
um,
biased though.
and you have bundles out right now too, right?
There's some bundles, yeah. Since we have several different products, there's three different products. We have the 1111 mushroom coffee, our newest flagship product, and then we also have a pure organic raw cacao powder. So the pure cacao is a bundle, and then our original product, which is a really great blend in itself. If you're not interested in having coffee, you can just have the cacao with the five different types of mushrooms in it, and so same beautiful cacao, really good mushrooms in that one too. So we have some bundle different packages there for people if you want to get the whole set. We have that available, or you can kind of pick and choose. And there's doing that. So yep,
Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing.
amazing.
Would you mind sharing a link on the Way of Namaste so people can find it on the Way of Play as well?
I will do that. Yep,
And
absolutely.
I want to inspire others to share their gifts, to share their offerings in a way that they can reach people. There's so many things that come through Facebook. There's so many things we get inundated all the time. But, when we know that we're supporting local and we're shopping small, like I think that there's so many, I know people in our community that really value that. So when you can make it easy and accessible and share the link, I just encourage anybody that's on the network that's watching this to do that, to share their services and their gift and their magic that way, so that we are creating this sacred economy of supporting one another. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for being with me. And I wanted to, as we're winding down now, I wanted to share the mudra for this gene key that we're in right now. A mudra is a way that we can conduct energy. We've talked about refining our energy, centering our energy, and it's a way that we focus our energy. And as we come into a breath, that's all it takes is just taking a breath. But when we use the intention and the attention along with an ancient mudra, we can tap into a powerful energy from within us. So I wanted to share it. This is coming from Richard Rudd, founder of the Gene Keys. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our middle fingers, bring them together, and then we take each of our knuckles and bring them together. It's a little wonky. And then we put our thumbs on top. So we would take this and we would rest it at our heart. And if we were standing, we'd have our knees a little bit bent, or we'd be sitting. And just invitation to take a breath and just to tap into feeling the limitless potential and the invincibility from within us. So let's take a breath now. Beautiful. Now, this is something that we can always bring into our prayer practice. Each gene key has a different mudra. So, as we have our calls, I'll be sharing more of them. And just like you said with the cacao, and just like we've been talking about, it may happen in an instant and it may not. It may take some time of working with these and coming into a quiet place with no distractions where we really start to feel that. A lot of times a smile will wash over my face and I'll just really tap into this. It's like another energy comes inside and just like you just feel the great mystery, as I like to say.
Mm. And I love this mudra. It reminded me of the little nursery rhyme. I don't know, little game that
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
if you ever played it as a kid.
remind me.
This is the church.
Um,
This is the steeple. Open the doors and see all the people.
I forgot about that. Yes. Oh, you're so cute. All right, 333. I honor the place in you where the entire universe resides. I honor the place within you of love, of light, of truth, of peace. When you are in that place in you and I am in that place in me, there we are one. Namaste. Thank you for joining me.
Aho.
Happy 3-3. Aho. I love you. We can stay connected on the way of Namaste. We'll have the replay there, and looking forward to hearing some posts and some shares, especially on the way of play. I'll talk to you soon. Namaste.
Aho. Namaste.